All righty. Well, good morning, everybody. We're just letting everybody into our lecture, and there's some people still joining us. But welcome to today's ADRC lunch talk on music therapy research. As some of you may know, we have been doing these virtual ADRC lunch talks during COVID every other month or so, and they've been really popular and well received. And so our plan hopefully is to continue with virtual programming in addition, hopefully, to our regular in-person lectures, as we begin to enter whatever new normal we're all going to be coming into as we work our way through the pandemic. So let me just introduce myself to those of you who don't know. My name is Margaret Sewell, and I'm the Director of Outreach and Education for the Alzheimer's Disease Research Center. And we're really excited about this program today with our collaborating team at the Louis Armstrong Center of Music and Medicine. During today's presentation, behind the scenes, I'm with Dr. Maria Luizos, who's going to be helping us with our polling questions and our chat rooms and keeping everything afloat. And after the presentation today, there's going to be plenty of time for questions and answers. At any time, you can post a comment or a question into the chat box at the bottom center of your screen, and we'll be keeping our eyes on that. And after the presentation, we'll send everyone a follow-up email with everyone's contact information. So if you have any questions for us here in the ADRC or our music therapy team, you'll be able to get in touch with us very easily. So for now, next thing I'd like to do is to introduce the director of the Alzheimer's Disease Research Center, Dr. Mary Sano.
Hello all. So nice to see you all virtually, unfortunately, but nice to know everyone's so interested. I want to welcome you to our next ADRC talk, which you've just heard is about our music therapy research, and you'll be introduced to our music therapy team. I want to say that I'm really proud of the fact that we're highlighting for you one of our completely 100% virtual studies. So this really means that we have a wide range of ability to include so many more people in this important program, because it can be conducted from your home or from any other area in which you might be residing during these really extraordinary times. There are several people I'm going to be introducing you to who will be taking you through the session, telling you what we can about music therapy research. And I'm particularly excited because I would say what you have here is the staff from one of the most important centers in this city in music therapy. And so the Louis Armstrong Center for Music and Medicine is really just an exemplary program of mixing important types of therapy with serious medicine. And we're very excited about the work we're doing. So first of all, I just wanted to reintroduce Maria Loizos, who's been taking a very major role as a co-investigator, helping us keep this study going forward. And also Ali Arlino, our newly assigned study coordinator. Ali has been working in research for a really long time and working on some of the most complex studies. So I'm really excited to have her working on this really important project. And then I'm going to introduce the Louis Armstrong team that has been really at the forefront of conducting the intervention. And that's Lily Klein. She's a music therapist on staff at the Louis Armstrong Center, and she's engaged in research. And she's going to be presenting with Danielle Crawford, who's a music therapy research fellow, and also with John Schwartz, who's a music therapy intern. So I think you're going to really be very excited to hear this team. And I'm really ready to turn it over to them so that you don't have to hear me wandering. I really would like to introduce this team now. And I hope you're going to walk away with a really excited attitude about what this approach may offer for those of us who worry and concerned about memory and thinking. So take it away, team.
Thank you, Mary, for the lovely introduction. And I'd like to thank you for coming to our presentation today, Exploring Music Therapy Research, the Body, Mind, and Spirit Connection. So to start off with introductions, my name is Danielle Crawford. I'm a board-certified music therapist, a part of the team this year as a music therapy research fellow, focusing on our stroke research, conducting sessions at our Brooklyn Hospital for palliative care, doing music therapy in our NICU, and also seeing some clinic clients. And I'll pass it off to Lily.
Well, good morning. It's wonderful to be with you all today. So my name is Lily Klein. I'm a music therapist here with the Louis Armstrong Center for Music and Medicine. As Dr. Sano had shared, my primary role is working as a research assistant for one of our newest studies, which is focused on mild cognitive impairment and Alzheimer's disease, which I'm so eager to share with you all today a little bit later in the lecture. But for now, I'll hand it off to Jonathan.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Jonathan. I am a music therapy intern here at the Louis Armstrong Center. I work in the outpatient clinic, and I also work in the palliative care in the hospital. I as well participate in the stroke study. So moving forward, we thought it would be nice to begin today by asking a question to you. So if you'd like to answer, you can do so by typing into the Zoom chat box. We want to ask you to share a word or two describing the role that music plays in your life. So maybe a word about how it makes you feel, or what you use music for, or what the experience of music is like for you. So if you would just take a moment and share a little bit. Let's see what we got here. We have release, keeps me motivated, transformative, background, keeps me moving, centering, peaceful, grounding, makes me feel like dancing. Inspiration, comfort, encouragement, peace. Engages with others. Soothing, helps memory. Great. Thank you so much for these. Listen to music all day long as a background, and I enjoy it. Is it WQXR radio? Nice.
Lovely. Yeah. Thank you all for sharing it. It certainly does appear that we are speaking to the right audience today. It seems for many of you that music plays a vital role within your life. And yes, music transforms us, it connects us, it gets us moving. This morning, we hope to explore this a little bit further by examining how music can connect both the mind, the body, and the spirit. We'd also love to share a brief overview about music and medicine and the Louis Armstrong Music Therapy Department. We're going to interweave information about our ongoing research studies that you are all eligible to enroll within. They are all free with virtual options to participate. So we're excited to be with you all. There is a wealth of information that we'd like to share in this brief 60 minutes together. So just in the interest of time, we're going to ask that all questions be saved for the end. As Margaret had shared, we will extend our contact information, resources, if you're curious in hearing more. But for now, we're just going to invite and encourage you all to access the chat box feature throughout this lunchtime lecture. But before we delve into all the details, we thought let's warm up this space together, this virtual space. We're going to ask that cameras remain off throughout the presentation as it is being recorded today. But just for a moment, if you're comfortable, we're going to invite everyone to turn your cameras on. And let's all just see one another, acknowledge each other, see who's in the space with us today. And we'll be sure to edit this out later. All right, So I'll take a moment while everyone gets their cameras on and I get my guitar. All right. Well, hello, everyone. It's so good to see your faces. Yeah. So one thing I like about music, and I think someone else had mentioned, that it gets me moving, right? It gets me just instantly connected to my body, gets my toes tapping. You know, I recognize meeting virtually in this space can feel a little disconnected at times. So I'm wondering, let's take this time and space to reconnect, right? I'm curious how we can do this through the screen. Well, many of you might know the song Dancing in the Street, right? So today we're gonna dance in the computer screen, all right? So get on your dancing shoes. Come now around the world, are you ready for a brand new beat? The ADRC is here, the time is right. We're dancing in the computer screen. Yeah, feel free to sway side to side, however you want to move today. This is a Zoom invitation across the nation, a chance for folks to meet. They'll be laughing and swinging and music playing. We're dancing in the computer screen. So all we need is music, sweet music. There'll be music everywhere. There'll be swinging, swaying, yeah, records playing. We're dancing in the computer screen. It doesn't matter what you wear, just as long as you were there. So come on, ADRC, yeah, let's dance around and let's move and groove. Let's make some sound, yeah, let's dance. We're dancing in the computer screen. All right, who's got a good dance move for us today? Let me see. All right, I see Be Mindful is dancing away, right? All right, yeah, let's put our hands up, come on, let's raise the screen, yeah, raise the screen, come on, hands up, yeah, hands up, come on, let's raise the screen, 'cause all we need is music, yeah, sweet music. There'll be music everywhere, there'll be swinging and swaying, records playing. We're dancing in the computer screen. All right, who else has got a dance move for us? Maria, you got anything for us today? What's your favorite dance move? Ooh, I like that. We go swinging our arms, yeah. Side to side, let's swing our arms. Side to side. All right. I see Yen's kind of moving her hands up and down like this, kind of waving at the screen, waving at the screen. It doesn't matter what you wear, just as long as you were there. So come on, ADRC, let's dance around, yeah. Let's move and groove, let's make some sound. Let's dance. All right, we're dancing in the computer screen, dancing in the computer screen, dancing in the computer screen. Nice. All right. I think we're definitely warmed up. So I'm going to invite everyone now to turn our cameras off. Lovely seeing all your faces and knowing who's with us today. So we'll take a moment, turn your camera.
Lily, I think you muted yourself by accident, just an FYI.
Yeah. All right. I was going to say we'll take a moment to return back to this space. And then when we're ready, I'll hand it off to Jonathan to tell us a little bit more about music therapy.
Great, thank you, Lily. I feel warmed up. So we thought that a good place start would be to ask the question, what is music therapy? It can be an interesting answer, and there's a lot of different answers. But a place to begin is with the American Music Therapy Association's definition, which is the clinical and evidence-based use of music interventions to accomplish individualized goals within a therapeutic relationship by a credentialed professional who has completed an approved music therapy program. So, to put that even a little more simply, music therapy is the evidence-based use of music and sound to meet musical and non-musical goals. So there's a growing body of evidence demonstrating that music therapy can serve many different beneficial functions in the clinical context. Among the many ways that music can provide support, it can do so in enhancing memory, enhancing quality of life, promoting overall wellness, managing stress, improving communication, supporting identity, improving breath, and supporting regulation of heart rate and blood pressure. As you can see, there's many more, and there's many more ways that it can benefit that aren't listed here as well. I'm going to pass it off to Lily, who's going to talk a little bit about what we do at the center.
Yeah, so moving into a glimpse of the Louis Armstrong Center for Music and Medicine. We can go on to the next slide, Jonathan. Great. So we are a clinical service and research music therapy department operating for over 27 years. We were founded by our Dr. Joanne Lowy. Clinical services, outreach, research, education, marketing, these are all sustainable and invaluable areas that make up our department. Our team can be seen throughout the Mount Sinai healthcare system. As you can see, some of the hospitals listed here. We work in person as well as through telehealth with both patients, families, staff, and the community. Let's move on to the next slide, Jonathan. So yeah, as you can see here, our staff is integrated into a wide array of diverse clinical areas, providing care across the lifespan, from NICU to end-of-life care. Great. And here are the smiling faces of our phenomenal team of music therapists. You can see Dr. Lowy right there to the left. Go back. Yeah, let's take another glimpse because they're such beautiful faces. So these are therapists, administrators, medical physicians, and psychiatrists that we have on our team. And now we can move on to our trainees. Yeah, so we host international scholars and research fellows such as Danielle, who's presenting today. And we also provide internship training for both undergraduate and graduate music therapy students, such as Jonathan, who is now going to share with us a little bit more about music and medicine and our philosophy and approach here at the center.
Yeah, thanks, Lily. So here at the Louis Armstrong Center, we practice with a theoretical, excuse me. Okay, you can all see that, right? Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, so we practice with a theoretical orientation that's based in music psychotherapy, which means that the music and work is done within the context of the relationship between patient and therapist. We work in a wellness model and apply a holistic view, working with physical, emotional, cognitive, developmental, social, and spiritual components. Though recorded music can be appropriate for certain circumstances, we do generally utilize live music in our work. That's because it enables us to adapt to the needs of a given environment or circumstances. Live music can be entrained in real time to a person's heart rate or respiratory rate, and moments of transition within that given context of that environment. Our work is also trauma-informed, and we incorporate multicultural perspectives. And now I'll pass it to Danielle, who will talk a little bit about research that we do.
Thank you. So research is a huge part of what we do here at the Louis Armstrong Center, as you can see from this grand list of all of the research projects that we have done and are continuing to do now. But today we'll be focusing on 2 research studies to present to you all today: the impact of group singing on stroke survivors and their caregivers, and music experiences for patients with mild cognitive impairment and Alzheimer's disease. So next slide. So The impact of group singing on stroke survivors and their caregivers. Our director, who you've already been introduced to, Dr. Joanne Lowy, is our principal investigator. And some keywords to think about when it comes to the study are stroke, group singing, and survivors and caregivers, which we'll delve more into. This study is really studying how active singing can affect speech and aphasia in stroke survivors, as well as studying how active group singing can affect compassion fatigue in caregivers, their ability to still be compassionate, to still be empathetic, despite having their own feelings ignored sometimes and, just feeling a bit worn out. Enrollment in this study is free, and we'll talk more about contact information and how you can reach out to us about joining if you want to join or know somebody who may be interested. So here are a list of some stroke symptoms, headache, mental changes such as disorientation, some memory impairment, aphasia, effects in their language, some respiratory issues, having trouble with breath, hypertension, visual changes, emotional lability. And then you have transient ischemic attacks that last anywhere from a few minutes to 24 hours. Again, confusion, vertigo, temporary vision changes, things of that nature. So when thinking about stroke symptoms, it's important to remember be fast, right? So B for balance. Does this person have a sudden loss of balance? E for eyes. Has this person lost vision in one or both of their eyes? F for face. Is someone's face drooping? Does it look uneven? A for arm. Is one arm hanging lower than the other? S for speech. Is their speech slurred? Are they having trouble speaking? Do they seem confused? If we're noticing these things in a person, then it's time to call 911. So, some benefits of group singing: it builds a communication space, promotes communication for our members, reduces loneliness. This may be a time where they feel very isolated. They're experiencing something that maybe most people they're around haven't experienced. And being able to come together with people who have experienced the same thing can be very validating for them and may make them feel more comfortable with socialization. It enhances their enthusiasm for living and can improve some of their relationships with the socialization that they experience within the group. So when thinking about music in our brain, we have this lovely diagram, but just to select a few, music connects our left and right brain, the left creative side, the right analytical side. Your creativity and lyrics, things like lyrics and math when it comes to counting music, it really uses the whole brain, which, not all activities really do. We also have musical memories. Music really has a way of bringing back fond memories, or maybe not even fond, just any memory from the past. And I'm sure we've all had at least one experience where we've heard a song from our past that's really brought us back to a moment. And music has a really funny way of just really bringing back feelings from an experience we may have had in the past. And it really helps connect our emotions to movement. So, music is a full brain workout when you think about it. We can go to the next slide. So with group singing, it increases comfort, reduces negative behaviors and emotions, helps with language and socialization like we've discussed before, retrieving those memories that we spoke about, accessing favorite songs. So how Jonathan mentioned earlier, that we always use patient preferred music because it's the one that they relate to most and maybe brings out more in their sessions than if I were to just pick a random song that I think they would like, movement, breath, really gaining strength in your voice and bringing air into your voice when you're singing. It builds space for spontaneity with our members. They probably have such routine lives now with having experienced the stroke, and especially caregivers are on a routine when they're taking care of somebody. So giving them space for spontaneity. And they also get an opportunity to perform and share what they've been doing together with the world. So quickly, just going into the caregiver aspect of it. So caregivers, as a part of their patient's rehabilitation, their own personal strength is often related to their patient, and they, that empathetic response where you kind of just take on what your patient is going through, right? So they interact with the emotions that they're feeling. And then as an independent individual, their feelings can personally get ignored because they're often giving so much to the person that they're caring for, and that can put them at a higher risk for depression. And they may also have impaired personal relationships because of the time that needs to be devoted to caring for someone. And they can lose empathy and struggle with compassion fatigue, where there's like a diminished ability to empathize with others and feel compassion, and just kind of a blank slate. So just to give you guys a little taste of what our choir is about, we meet weekly on Mondays to gather as a community. We're offering it virtually now, so anyone can really enroll. And we have celebrity guests kind of pop in every once in a while. I know some of you saw John Batiste. Within that same rehearsal, Renee Fleming sat in. So they really get support from the outside music community and with each other. So yes, virtual meetings Monday nights, and the information will be posted later on with some contact information for you all. But just to give you all a live experience of what we do in choir, Jonathan is going to do some improv with you guys today. And you can keep your cameras off, no need to turn them on. But we will be using the chat box feature for this.
Yes. Thank you. So, yeah, as Danielle said, we thought it would be nice to give you a little taste of what the experience of stroke choir can be like. As she mentioned, we sometimes utilize familiar songs. So at this time, I'd like to offer a song that you might know, as you can see my favorite things. Please feel free to sing along. You will still be muted through Zoom, but please join me from wherever you are. Okay. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their strings. These are a few of my favorite things. So, since spring is upon us, we were thinking that maybe it'd be nice to add in some words to this that are our favorite things about spring. So please feel free to enter into the chat box, and I'll pull that up here. Some words that maybe you think of when you think of spring. Things, maybe activities you like to do in springtime, or feelings you get in spring, or things you notice in springtime. All right, we got walks in the park. Let's sing it. Walks in the park and sunshine and breezes, eating ice cream and the color yellow, birds singing and tulips all around, all sorts of flowers, bird songs, fresh air, long days, rebirth, hiking, smelling the blossoming flowers, flowers blooming. These are a few of my favorite things about spring. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad. Let's see here, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. Thank you for all your contributions in there. Very nice. I really feel spring is upon us.
Thanks so much, Jonathan. So that's a little taste of some activities that we do in our choir weekly, singing our favorite songs, sharing music. So yeah, and so like I said before, our Singing Together Measure by Measure choir for stroke survivors and their carers, every Monday from 5 to 6, it is now offered virtually. You can join anytime and it's completely free to enroll. So you can email info@musicandmedicine.org like you see on the screen. And then later on, I'll share my own email that you can contact me directly at. And then, great. So now Lily will speak a little bit more about the MCI Alzheimer's study.
Yeah, so switching gears a little bit here. Last year, the Louis Armstrong Center for Music and Medicine began a really new and exciting research project that you heard Dr. Mary Sano speaking about, because we've been working in conjunction with the Alzheimer's Disease Research Center. Our principal investigators are Dr. Mary Sano and Dr. Joanne Lowy. So essentially, we're investigating if music and other pleasant activities influence memory for those with mild cognitive impairment and Alzheimer's disease. So today we're just going to provide a snapshot of the study design. And again, if you're curious and hearing further details, we can share with you information for you to review. So yeah, a couple of things to note here that's really unique and specific to this study is that we did not have to pause enrollment due to COVID and social distancing requirements, but rather we shifted to now offer participants the option to enroll and be involved in person or from the comfort of their home. There are really very few studies that are examining mild cognitive impairment and early stages of Alzheimer's disease. Also of significance to note, our age demographic, it begins at 55 years of age. It's very similar to the stroke study. We're looking as well to investigate study partners and have them present as part of this 12-month duration of involvement. So really to help participants support them in answering questions, as well as building and strengthening bonding and meaningful engagement. So a study partner could be a spouse, a significant other, a brother, a sister, a daughter, a son, a friend, a neighbor, or a professional companion or caregiver. Because we really know that there are only 4 types of people in this world: those who have been caregivers, those who are currently caregivers, those who will be caregivers, and those who need a caregiver. So caregiver burden is so needed to acknowledge and recognize those who are caring for others. So this study is a non-pharmacological study, meaning there are no medical procedures, no medications or drugs to keep track of. If you are eligible to participate, you and your study partner will be randomly assigned into a group, and then really we'll just be asking you to keep track of common music experiences and other pleasant activities through weekly and/or monthly check-ins. So more details regarding your specific track criteria would be outlined in an initial meeting with one of our Louis Armstrong team members. Again, this could be a meeting in person or from the comfort of your couch. Again, it is free to enroll. It is a 12-month commitment to the study. And as well, there are additional opportunities to receive support when services from the department are completed in the study. You're eligible to continue, because we like to say that music does not stop once the study stops, right? We want to continue in supporting. So we can move on to the next slide. So I just acknowledge and recognize that we have experts in the field of neuroscience joining with us today. And I recognize that many of you are familiar with Alzheimer's and mild cognitive impairment, but I think it does bear repeating, so wanted to address. We know that the Alzheimer's is a progressive neurological brain disease where brain nerve cells deteriorate and cause decline in cognition and memory recall. Alzheimer's is becoming one of the most prominent diseases as our culture is living to an older age. Mild cognitive impairment differs in that impairment goes beyond one's typical age, but criteria does not qualify for a diagnosis under the umbrella of dementia. we typically see with mild cognitive impairment a minor decline in memory. It's typically short-term memory that we're seeing the variance in. So the big question, why music? Why music to address mild cognitive impairment in Alzheimer's disease? We can move on, John. Great. So as the famous neuroscientist Oliver Sacks once said, music imprints itself on the brain deeper than any other human experience. Music evokes emotion, and emotion can bring with it memory. Really powerful words. I like to think that the intrinsic qualities that music possesses, such as tempo, melody, dynamics, these provide us with familiar structures. In music, it can help us to connect to the past. It can help orient us to the present moment, as well as building upon spontaneity and improvisation, where the unexpected can be experienced in a very familiar and contained way. Music is a safe creative modality. It is readily accessible. It is essentially inexpensive unless you are hoping to buy tickets to the Metropolitan Opera on a Saturday night. All right. So we also know, as Danielle had shared before, that music can improve brain health. It can essentially forge new pathways in your brain, helping to support, to learn and relearn skills and behaviors. And we acknowledge that music can as well support mood and help with overall quality of life. All right, we can move on to the next slide. Great. So music activates, it stimulates the entire brain, from the auditory cortex that processes and differentiates sounds, to the motor cortex that keeps those toes tapping and dancing in the screen. I really enjoy this image. I feel that it captures an overview of all the regions of the brain that are simultaneously engaged when engaging in an active music experience. So as Danielle had shared, essentially when we are listening to music, we are working out our brain really well. I love that picture. All right, so we can move on from this. Great, so again, recognizing, speaking about the study very briefly in our short time together, but if you are interested in hearing more about and finding out if you are eligible, please contact the ADRC team or the Louis Armstrong team. We'd love to share more details with you. And recognizing we've been working out our musical brains all morning, sometimes it's also nice to just take pause and reconnect to ourselves, reconnect to our spirit. So I will hand it over to Danielle.
Okay, everyone. So just to wind down a little bit, I'd like to invite everyone to get into a comfortable space, whether it be your chair, your couch, your bed, wherever you feel best. And I want to invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And as your body settles and your eyes close, I want you to bring awareness to your breathing. Notice the breath coming in and the breath going out. Follow the breath with your awareness all the way in and all the way out, not trying to change it in any way, just breathing in and out. Feeling the breath as it passes through your nostrils and feeling it as it leaves your nostrils when you breathe out. Keeping your awareness gently on your breath, breathing mindfully in the present moment. If any thoughts come in, as they always do, acknowledge them without judgment and just let them go. Let them drift away like clouds floating across the sky. And bring your awareness back to your breath, back to your breathing, and back to the present moment. Each time your attention moves away from the breath, distracted by a thought about something you have to remember to do, perhaps, or maybe something that is bothering you or worrying you, notice the thought, acknowledge it, and then let it go. And bring your awareness back to your breath, back to the present moment. Letting your full awareness be on the breath as it comes in and as it goes out. Continue to mindfully breathe in this way for as long as you like, following the breath all the way in, noticing the slight pause at the turning point as the in-breath becomes the out-breath, and following the breath all the way out, noticing that brief pause at the turning point as the out-breath becomes the in-breath, aware of the steady, familiar rhythm of the breath. Breathing in and out, in and out. And as we bring this meditation to an end, keeping your eyes closed for just a little while longer, take a moment to notice how you're feeling. Your body, your mind, and your spirit. If you would like, offer yourself some gratitude for this time you have taken for yourself, to be quiet and to just breathe. Bring yourself back into balance. And slowly come back into the room, aware of your body in the chair, the couch, the bed, wherever you decided to stay. Opening your eyes whenever you're ready. And as we slowly come back to our space, getting used to the light in our rooms, I hope that you appreciated that time of solace. We don't often take enough time for ourselves during the day, especially during these Zoom times. So I'm hoping that this fed your spirit today.
Okay, thank you, Danielle. So just being mindful of our time, we just wanted to share briefly about some of our other programs that we do provide. So we have our outpatient clinic where we provide in-person and telehealth services. Our clinic is located in the heart of downtown Union Square. Within our clinic, we address the unique healthcare needs of all individuals of all ages. What we like to say is we serve everyone from Subway to Broadway. Great. We also provide services in chemotherapy and radiation oncology units, helping to support one's first day of treatment or their last day of treatment. Recently, we've begun a virtual grief support group as well. This is a free program open to all in the community that are experiencing loss during this global time of grieving. The group meets Thursdays at 2 o'clock, and we're currently taking registration for our next series. Okay, so we have our visiting artist. Danielle, would you like to share?
So I've had the honor of coordinating our visiting artist series this year, and basically this is an opportunity for musicians to come in and volunteer their time and their music to our hospital spaces, our atriums, our waiting areas. So if you know of anybody who loves to play the piano, loves to play an instrument, loves to sing, and would want to volunteer their time maybe once a week to share their music in our hospitals, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. We work in our Union Square location, Petrie, our Brooklyn hospital, our Upper East Side hospital. So if you know of anybody or if you yourself are interested, please reach out to me and I'll make sure to set that up.
All right. Well, we hold annual educational conferences and workshops. On May 17th, we have our award-winning composer, John Batiste, who will be joining us. He'll be sharing about a very, very important topic, which is social music. Our department also hosts fundraising opportunities through our annual Wonderful World Friends of Music Therapy Gala, where we honor both patients, staff, musicians. It's a really fun event that takes place in the fall. Last year, as you can see here, we honored Nora Jones and Wayne Shorter. So we wanted to just take a moment to acknowledge our emblem, our symbol for the International Association for Music and Medicine. As we say, IAM aims to promote the sharing and building of research across a wide range of fields in both music and medicine. And as the expression goes, IAM, are you? Well, what are you waiting for? It's really easy to become a member. You should certainly join if you're interested in hearing more about the latest research in both music and medicine. You'll receive interdisciplinary medical journals. As you can see in our next slide, it is filled with information, research, and articles. We can move on to the next slide. Yeah, if you're really interested and excited by hearing about research and approaches, may I suggest some of our published library here. Great reading material with a wide array of different topics, both from trauma-informed care, breathwork, end-of-life care, caring for the caregiver, NICU, pediatric, all across the life spectrum. Our department hosts orientation and observations if you're interested in getting more of a deeper look into our programming and clinical work. Please, of course, follow us on all the social medias. We often will post music meditations such as what Danielle has provided for us, and really up-to-date information involving our programs and research. Once again, sharing our information about the virtual choir that meets on Monday evenings. It just really continues to thrive in the remote way. And as well, our Alzheimer's study that is currently enrolling. Here's some of our contact information if you are curious in potentially enrolling in one of our studies. So I'll just leave this slide for a minute in case anyone wants to quickly jot down a number or two. All right. Well, once again, of course, we'll be sending out this information to everyone. So if you, didn't get a number or there's something you'd like to hear more about, we'll certainly review. And next is our contact information for both Danielle, Jonathan, and myself. If you want to discuss anything or you just want to say a quick hello, we always love to meet new people. So yeah, before we move into questions, we wanted to really hear from all of you by taking 2 quick polls and surveys. So we'll have some questions popping up for you now. The first one being, what aspects resonated with you today? If any, was it the mind moving around, getting our bodies warmed up in the space, the body? Was it the mind thinking or the spirit? Yeah, what resonated with you? Meditation, I see here. Brain information, meditation, lovely. And then we have another question of curious to know what aspects would you be curious about exploring further in the future? Would it be the mind, the body, or the spirit?
Lily, hi. I was thinking as people are answering this question, it's fine to put it in the chat, but Maria actually made a little poll for people to respond to, which would be great because then we can collect everyone's answers and kind of look at it later. And
Oh, there they are. Lovely.
So here was the first question Lily was asking. So what aspects of today's talk resonated with you? You can pick any or none, or one, any that apply. All you have to do is click on your answer, Maria, if I've got that right.
Yeah, you can click on your answers. You can are welcome to scroll through as well because there's multiple questions. And then at the end, you'll hit submit.
Okay, great.
Well, it seems like mind is leading the way with the spirit close in second. Lovely.
All right, and people, I see a bunch of people are responding to future talks. Give everyone one more minute. I see more answers are coming in. Okay. Great. All right, does it seem like everyone has answered? That's going to answer. Ooh. Someone else.
I think we have a few more.
Terrific. This is one of my favorite things about Zoom.
Okay, I think everyone has answered.
Okay, terrific.
Well, thank you all so much for taking the time to answer those polls as well as being with us today. So appreciate the time and the ADRC, of course, for having us. I'm curious, should we turn it over to questions?
That sounds great.
Lovely.
So yeah, if people want to, if people have questions and you want to type them into the chat box down below. And yeah, so the first question is about sending out an email, just to remind them, because I see another couple of questions about this in the chat. Yes, don't worry if you didn't write anything down or if everything went too fast today. That's totally understandable. First of all, within a few weeks, we're going to post this whole talk on our website, minus the part where you can see everybody at the beginning so that it remains private. So you can watch it again and go slower. And we will also be sending out an email to everyone who RSVP'd today with all of the contact information for everybody here if you have more questions. So I see there's a question that says, are there any plans to extend research into the role and impact of people with more advanced dementia or Alzheimer's disease?
Well, that is a really wonderful question to ask. I will say currently right now, our research is primarily focused with this one study of mild cognitive impairment and earlier stage Alzheimer's. However, within our services that we provide, we are always helping to support everyone wherever they are at in the moment and at whatever stage they are. So we certainly can provide support in regards to research. I mean, what a wonderful idea. And we hope to branch off and continue in acknowledging all stages of of the disease and the progression. Of course, it's so needed at this time. And there is a wealth of literature out there currently that does focus. So the primary role for our study is to take a look at those that really aren't as actively researched. So that's sort of our plan with this study.
Right, Lily, that's a great point. I just want to tag on to that, that the context that our whole music therapy study has come out of is that, as Lily just mentioned, there's been a lot of literature about the impact of music therapy on a variety of outcomes in people with quite severe dementia, people who live in nursing homes, and looking at ways that music therapy has substantially improved many aspects of patients' lives with severe dementia. What was interesting about the study that we're doing now is it's been more unusual to look at the impact in people who have very, very mild cognitive changes. It's a whole, and that's been a big thrust in dementia research as a whole, that we're trying to look at things earlier and earlier on to see if we can help prevent cognitive decline, or if there's a little bit of cognitive decline, how can we make an impact on it now? So that's one of the kind of novel aspects of our study. Let's see, I saw another question that someone wanted to hear about music and the NICU, what that was about.
Lovely. Danielle, I'd love to hand that over to you, as you being one of our music therapists that has active involvement within the NICU.
Yeah, so in the NICU, we work with premature babies to help with their development, to help with them thriving, using music in that way to help support them and motivate them, and help with, things like feeding support, emotional regulation, breath, respiratory support is a big one in the NICU. In addition to helping premature babies, we also work with their families, their moms and fathers specifically right now because of the COVID restrictions there are for visitation. And that's where the Song of Kin comes into play, where we use music that's important to the cultures of their families, or just important music to their parents in general that maybe they grew up with. And change it into a lullaby format, using that to soothe the babies, using that to help motivate them. And really, it's something that really sticks with them throughout their life as well. So we're really there to help the babies and their families through a time that just maybe seem so vulnerable to them and maybe really difficult. Parents lose their ability to care for their child in the way that they probably thought that they would when they initially found out that they were going to have a baby. So really just giving them agency through music, giving them choice, giving them some of that power back during a time that may be so fragile for them.
Yeah. I'd love to add to that our founder of the department, Dr. Joanne Lowy, is really a pioneer in this specific field, working with those with NICU. She has worked with Remo Instruments, developing specific instruments for the NICU to be conscious of the little infants, their auditory. So instruments include an ocean drum, a gato box, and as well we host training here for international NICU music therapists and other clinicians that are curious in hearing more about this work. So absolutely, if you're curious in hearing more, and we have a ton of literature published on this.
And then also our observation and orientation, just to emphasize that as well, if you want to just get a taste of it, and just the department in general.
Okay, great. Okay, I think you answered that question really well. Thank you. So I think that's all the questions I see for now in the chat. But again, if you have questions you'd rather not, ask publicly, and you want to follow up with some other questions to either of our teams via email, again, we will be sending all that out. Please feel free to do that. And, we're going to take a look at the responses of people's interest in future talks. And I want to thank our music therapy team so much for presenting today. It was a terrific presentation. You covered so much in an hour, and I myself enjoyed the opportunity to move around and sing because nobody gets to do that very much. And it was just incredibly informative. So thank you so much. And thank you to everybody out there in Zoom land who joined us today. It was nice to see you briefly at the beginning, and hope you have a wonderful spring day. And we really look forward to our next presentation. Thanks again. Thanks
Thank
again,
you.
everybody. Talk to you soon. Thanks.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.